Hey guys, welcome to the Money Mindset. Now, on today's episode, we have with us Sandeep Jethwani, who's the co founder of Deserve, a tech driven wealth management platform that has been gaining a lot of traction in the past many weeks and months. Sandeep has spent almost 20 years managing money for the wealthiest Indians across geographies and businesses. Prior to Deserve, he was responsible for scaling the portfolio management business of India's largest wealth manager to $3.5 billion. Now, as I said, Deserve, you've heard the name a lot in the last couple of months to a year. It's been growing at a very fast pace since its launch in 2021. And it's now sitting on an AUM of 16,000 crores. Happy to have Sandeep with us on the show today. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Sonia, and congratulations on your own journey.
Thank you. It's been a it's been a very interesting one the last 1.5 years for me.
We've been watching you on screen for the longest time. So when you made the entrepreneurial shift, it was also very interesting for most of us in the financial ecosystem. Ki yahan kya ho raha hai? So maybe we'll talk a little bit about that too.
It was not only an entrepreneurial shift, it was a mindset shift. For so many years, working in one particular format and then making that transition to something I absolutely didn't know about, anything about, was very scary, but it is the best experience I've ever had. And it's very exciting because, on in a like in a TV platform, you're constantly like a hamster on a wheel, churning out content after content. There's no thought into it. And this is like you get deep dive, you do a deep dive into certain topics. So there's a lot of learning.
No, and it's very resonant because I remember when I made that shift to starting up, you've gone from a cabin to a very small office where you're pretty much figuring out everything yourself. And for us, the biggest unlearning and relearning was around how to leverage technology. Like financial services in India has been around for the longest time, been in the industry for 20 years, and there was a way of doing things, right? When you start reimagining that way, what is digital public infrastructure? What is account aggregator? How does the KYC can happen faster? How does an app work? I think those were very interesting things. So it just suddenly broadens your horizon also.
It is. And I wanted to ask you that actually, because Deserve has in the last 1 year been everywhere. A lot of people are talking about it. I'm sure you've heard that. But this is such a cluttered space. So, what is it that you did to stand out from the clutter?
Actually, Sonia, I think it is not as cluttered a space as we would think, right? So there are, and I'm going to round off numbers for effect, as good wealth managers will. There are nearly 1 crore crorepati households in India, right? And there are 10,000 relationship managers, give or take, servicing those households, right? So that's one for every 1,000 households, right? Now, this number for the US would be one for every 10 or 20 households, right? So that's the level of under penetration that is there. Now, over the last few years, courtesy of what happened during COVID and people's familiarization with technology platforms and also the government and regulators' interventions, a lot of access got solved for. Like today, for most part, there isn't a confusion about how to invest. What is a brokerage account? What is a demat account? What's a mutual fund? There are nearly 5 crore mutual fund investors, 12 odd crore demat accounts, etc. So penetration here. The challenge for most of these people was where to put in the money, right? And when in absence of that, what were most people doing? They were going online trying to figure out where to invest or talking to friends and essentially ended up copying the portfolio. So our biggest insight was that India's wealth creators are not having portfolios built for them, right? You can easily replicate something that is online. Like one of the best or most popular search strings on Google in context of mutual funds is best performing mutual fund, right? What does that mean? That means people are keen on mutual funds and they rightly should be, but they're looking up the best performing fund and investing in that, right? And obviously the outcomes are not great. There's a concept of mean reversion and so on. So our insight was that people who've created this wealth, who essentially built themselves up, came from humble middle class backgrounds, are not managing their money really well.